Welcome to MMT Chats. This episode brought to you by ISCAR, with new ideas for machining intelligently. Welcome to the MMT studio. I'm Christina Fuges with MoldMaking Technology, and today I am here with Steve Eberly and John Berg of Dynamic Tool. Dynamic Tool Corporation? Dynamic Tool Corporation. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we have tons to talk about, so why don't we just run down a list? We'll make this a quiz show. All right, first of all, we did an article recently on Dynamic and basically revolved around training and education, but mentoring. Mentoring is a big word. And you asked me earlier, Steve, is it something talked about a lot? It is, but what I've noticed is everyone defines that a little bit differently and actually plays it out differently in their shop. So either one of you, talk to me, how does Dynamic define mentorship?
If you don't mind, I'll start, even though, technically it's Steve and Dynamic who are defining Dynamic's mentorship program. But I can give, my perspective from just having worked with a number of different companies in different industries, and some type of an apprenticeship, an internship, if you will, a mentoring program is critical to nearly every industry, even service industries, financials as an example. You're going through somewhat of the same process. At Dynamic and in the mold making industry, obviously we're learning not only the thought processes behind designing, building, engineering a successful, long-term, robust tooling solution, but we're also learning now that the technical, let's call it the technical mechanisms behind creating that. So for some, it's learning several different suites of software applications, CAD camera for programming as an example, being just almost naturally fluent in them, pushing the boundaries of them to optimize any opportunities possible. And then on the tool shop floor, you have so many divergent processes and processes that continue to be developed and continue to escalate. Additive manufacturing, certainly. Yep. But we're also seeing significant advancements. While they may be incremental, they're still very impactful in traditional subtractive machining operations. Yep. With regard to repeatedly holding very tight tolerances and being reliable from that standpoint. And then the integrators of these machines, the robotics companies and the material handlers, all stepping up and all looking for every opportunity to optimize and keep things out of the queue and under a spindle, if you will. Yep. But that same thought process applies that dynamic to the sinker, to the wire, to the vertical, to the, it doesn't matter. We try to get that process ingrained. And one of the points of the article was, if you just have that listed on paper, it's wonderful. But people have to be taught and brought up with that mindset to look for knowledge, to share knowledge, to never be satisfied.
Yeah,
right?
Curious, be curious.
Right.
And we have to get them in the door too. So there's more than just mentoring them and actually educating them. And that's a big role that we're going towards, is educating them and bringing them in. But to bring them to the industry is another challenge. It's really not promoted in the schools because they don't really understand it. So they
don't even know it exists.
They don't know it exists, right? We know they know of other industries, of course, because it's a little easier to understand. Tool and die is kind of hard to understand when you walk into a tool shop, of what you would be doing as a career. So we've been focusing on our high school students and bringing them in the factory to be able to show them what we do. And we're sponsoring an event on the 22nd of April here. And what we do is we've went out to 13 high schools, and we're contacting all the tech ed teachers, the guidance counselors. We are communicating with the parents and just trying to get the message out there to the
What's the position?
To the kids.
How are you positioning this event?
So we're really bringing it in two colleges as well, or tech schools. So we're positioning it in this sense. We're not really promoting for Dynamic Tool Corporation, for instance, right? Although they come through as a good thing for us, but in the end, we're just trying to get the kids to understand that this is a viable and a great career for them to move forward. So we're kind of taking a little unselfish type of a look, right? And sponsoring this event, and we've done this once before. And we had pretty good success. I mean, it wasn't a lot of kids. We didn't get the message out good enough, we felt. But we're taking a new approach, and we expect more this time. Of the people that came, we had about 30% of them that 15% actually signed up in college.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so that was good.
Yeah, that's totally good.
So
Are you
percentage-wise,
walking
it was
them
well.
through the mold making process? Is that what the day is, the event is?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have volunteers. I have my tool makers. I've got the apprentices that
Okay,
we have.
that's better. Yeah, young ones.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
That does help. We've got 7 apprentices right now.
Okay,
So
nice.
we encourage them all to do the volunteering and come in, and they are. And they walk through the process with the students, the parents, and just try to inform them on what tool and die is.
Do you ever notice, when you did it before at least, is there a specific area where you see the kids' eyes light up like, oh, I want to do that, or that's a sexy machine?
They're all different, right?
Okay. Yeah, true, true.
They do it in different areas. You know, through the years we've been automating, right? So they like to see robots moving and mills, cutting. So those are the things they probably like the best.
What's the most recent technology investment that Dynamic has made in terms of machinery, let's say?
Well, we sample of our tools as well. So we've been bringing in some molding presses, but we brought in a 5-axis Yazda.
Yazda's nice.
Yeah, it's a great machine. We have additive manufacturing. We brought that in 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're trying to stay ahead with all the technologies.
Yeah, which will, again, excite the children, right? The kids. They
Right.
want to see that high technology.
Well, they do love seeing the
Yeah.
printing. So
Are they intrigued by design and engineering?
there's a small group that do. Yeah.
Because I believe that's the future of mold making. I think it's going to be in design and engineering. And I feel like we say there's a lack of mold builders and machinists, and I'm hearing more and more, there's a greater lack of mold designers and engineers, and the schools and some groups that say they're training them, they're coming out with certificates or degrees and they don't know even what a mold is. And I'm hearing that more and more. So things like what you're doing are even more important.
They are.
Because I don't know you can only do so much in a classroom, right? You need to actually see it and see what the end product is and how it all plays together.
And you have to get the parents involved because, they're a big part of their life still, and they help with the decision process. And, tech school wasn't really promoted for the high schools. They were pushing colleges. And I think it's turning now. It feels like the tech schools are becoming more of a viable option, and parents are actually looking at that for a solution for their kids.
Do you notice the parents have different questions or interests than the students, the young ones, and the guidance counselors too? Because they're the 3 components, right, to the sale.
I think they're really surprised on how clean a tool shop is, right?
Yes.
Ooh,
They think of manufacturing as dirty and dark, and we're very sophisticated, right? Tool shops all have to be. They're climate controlled, and, great lighting. They're clean. It's just the environment we have to run in. Otherwise, we can't hold the tolerances that are necessary for our industry.
It's amazing in 2023, like people still have that dark, dingy, and dangerous notion. It really is.
I would just love to add to that one of the most frequent questions that I will get when parents are involved in it, they usually ask it a little bit sheepishly about 3/4 of the way through the tour, and it's kind of like, yeah, but it's really plastic, so and that's plastic, and to some it has a negative connotation, but and to me it's their perspective and how it's been shaped, and I can understand why their perspective is shaped that way too. But part of what we have to communicate to the parents and to the kids is that, plastics aren't beneficial or a nice thing to have. They're critical. Plastic components are absolutely critical to everything we do in life. Whether it's medical devices, our cars, our appliances, they play such a huge role in all the things that we need and that we like to do as well, right? So there's just smart ways about it, and collectively, that's where our energies should be focused right now. And as an example, we actually are working with one of our customers and several of our supply chain partners, and we're doing a little bit of study on recycled material to see where certain things might be optimized or even generalized, if you will, so we could create, let's call it might be a narrow path of success at first, but at least we could define those applications where it can be repeatedly used, where the supply chain could be somewhat repeatable, right?
Yep.
So, and we're getting really positive feedback from the supply chain partners we've just in the short term reached out to. So that's really exciting to me, is just to see people going, let's start doing instead
Yes.
of pointing fingers or complaining.
And talking all the time. It is interesting you bring up plastic. So not only do we have to fight the perception of manufacturing or mold making in general, on top of that, we have a battle against plastics.
Right.
So you have a younger generation coming in that, is really educated that it's bad, and the parents. And how do you, well, you know what too, we can flip that on them. These are kids that like causes, right? Want to do good. Well,
Yes.
come in and fix the problem then. Get a challenge.
Exactly.
Be sustainable. We want to be that too. So figure it out. Be an engineer.
That's a wonderful way of putting it.
Yeah.
That will help us get there.
All right,
Very
so
good.
let's move to, can we move to facilities? And isn't there some news on that front that you're expanding?
Absolutely.
All right, let's hear about that.
I'd kick it off I think it was mid last year or early last year when we first closed the deal on it. Dynamic Tool is located in an industrial park on the northwest corner of Milwaukee. And let's call it 2 or 3 industrial blocks away, a large facility became available, a distribution center, a call center, if you will, that was plus about 70,000 square feet. Not a manufacturing facility, it was literally wall-to-wall cubicles. But the price was just absolutely so attractive, and Steve saw the potential of what could be and what this could mean to our customers and what it could mean to our company and our employees. And we didn't buy this and right away the industry goes, oh, you guys, I can start buying molding machines to become a mold. No, that's not what this is about. We intend on creating more of an advanced technology, an innovation center, an opportunity to kick off turnkey manufacturing cells, to have a modular approach to a customer who may need not only injection molding process development before they transfer the tool, but there may be secondary operations involved that they need to validate as well. And wouldn't it be perfect for us if you could do that in a Class 8 clean room or in a white room? And for us to have that flexibility, we now have the real estate for that. The building is now being refurbed with an appropriate supportive floor, material handling system. So, I mean, everyone's just absolutely excited about it, and the customers are already asking, well, is the clean room ready?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Which is just, but you love to see that enthusiasm.
Yes, absolutely.
Because people, I'm sorry, what I've seen is that people, they get behind the dynamic success and the dynamic attitude. Because you see it right away when you walk in a shop. It's different. It's got the vibe.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big venture for us, right?
Yeah.
But we're pretty excited about where we are in the process so far. We have currently 50,000 square feet, and we're pretty tight. Pretty tight. We're reaching 80 people in our company, and we need more space for the growth that we see. Right, so we're going to continue this growth. Our plan is to, like John was saying, moving our molding process in that facility and utilize it for turnkey, bringing in molding process to completely do the integration for our customers. We really want to complement our customers, right? Our molding base, our OEMs, and all. So it's going to be a little process, but we're working through it.
Yeah, it's growth.
It's growth.
And that's exciting for the industry. So this goes in nicely to my last question. So, mold making celebrating 25 years.
And congratulations.
Thank you. I've known you very long.
And if I may, because I was thinking on the drive down here, I said I've known you since I think early 2003, and have always enjoyed working with you. So when I think MoldMaking Technology, I think Christina Fuges. That's just how it is. I do. Because and to me congratulations to the magazine, obviously, and Gardner. And, over the years I've gotten to know so many of those great people as well, the family behind it.
Exactly.
All are just fabulous people. I saw Jimmy and Jackie when I came into the floor. So it's an incredible team, and I'm just so glad for your success.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, on top of that,
okay.
My last question. So with that in mind, I should say, what are you excited about, each one of you, for the next 25 years in mold making? What excites you the most?
I'm thinking from a technical aspect.
Any aspect. What comes to mind first?
There's a lot, right? In 25 years, I'll probably be not in the industry anymore.
Everyone says that, and then they
never
stick
know.
around.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
true. I do like it. So, I really do enjoy teaching the kids, for number one, right? And we have to pass on this knowledge, otherwise it's going to be lost, right? But the technologies are changing, and it's bringing new technology to the industry, which really excites me the most. And that's actually what's been the passion of pushing the new facility for us, because we do have different ideas of how to approach, molding plastics and
Yep.
making it sustainable, right? We still need to make plastics. It's just something that has to happen
Yeah.
for, the industry, or for the world, right?
Yeah, for the world, exactly.
For the world, and we can do better. And I'm really looking forward to trying to make that happen. That's something that we push hard and going. I know we've been doing that for the last 15, 20 years. How do we do it different? How can we make it better?
And have an impact. Like you can have an impact on that.
And we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. John, what's your thought?
My thought was that I have to answer to
was
what
good,
you
Steve.
stated earlier about in the future maybe we just need mold designers or mold engineers, and AI starts doing the programming and the layouts in the most logical.
Who knows?
That it processes all the variables and it goes, here's the smartest path to go by, and that very well could be the case. But still, you have to imagine the human element there to keep the system going, to understand the system, to also push it for new needs. It's difficult to say 25 years from now. That's really the toughest technology to, I think, forecast.
Yeah.
Certainly additive manufacturing is going to continue
Yeah.
to evolve. Subtractive as well. I mean,
I know.
in a way, additive kind of came out of nowhere, out of a science fiction story. And I mean, something very well could be seated in a grade schooler's head right now.
You're right. That is true.
That's going to see the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
And imagine I can do that better.
Yeah.
And I think, and those are the people we want to find for the good of everybody,
Yeah.
right? And just make sure we're nurturing them and giving them a platform to succeed.
That's true. It is exciting. Yeah, even thinking about AI, how quickly that whole chat GPT thing, it went from December 1st and it exploded in a matter of weeks. So you're right. Who knows?
And I don't know if either of you have taken one of those for a test drive.
I have.
But I was absolutely astounded.
Exactly, me
because
too.
At first you'd think I could probably easily trick them into a question with some more of an arcane subject. No, it knows everything.
I know. And the more you try it, that's the more information you're giving it. So it keeps getting better and better. It's creepy.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you, John, for sitting down with me and giving me a little insight into dynamic. All right?
I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. And for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com.